Episode 3 of our series on 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, really getting into that time loop drama. Because trust me, we are going to be getting a lot into that. I played quite a bit into the game now. So I kind of have more of an idea of what to expect out of 13 Sentinels. But it's... Okay, so this game allegedly is about fighting kaiju and giant robots and everything. But it's actually about trying to piece together some sort of super fragmented storyline because it's about time travel. Also, everybody is lying to you, and they're also not what they seem, and everybody also has amnesia. So, we're in for quite a ride.
Ooh, so this is deep visual novel territory then. Like that is, we're in.
I mean,
like
in the sense that we're going to be getting deep into it, sure.
I mean, no, that is actually surprisingly common, and I don't really know what. Like, I haven't read enough about this, but it's like there's a whole. This is a thing in visual novels. I'm most recently I played the Zero Escape games, but that's something that happens consistently. There's multiple timelines. You have to go through all the timelines. So basically, you know how I'm sure you know in visual novels there are choices you make that are really critical that send you down different paths. Sci-fi games have very similar to like how roguelikes have internalized like death as a mechanic. They've internalized this branching by, I mean, usually it's some bullshit like quantum physics or multiple timeline theory, parallel universes, whatever. But they've incorporated, or time travel. Like they incorporate it, so you're making choices, and you have to go through all the different timelines to understand the time loop, the whole story. It's told in this fragmented, non-linear way. So I mean that is.
I know that you might only be familiar with the Zero Escape and greater Uchikoshi, I believe.
Yeah,
the director is greater oeuvre.
Yes.
Between like the Remember 11, Ever 17. What is that? Called the Infinity series, I think.
I'm not sure. That sounds plausible.
Well, anyway, it's also I know like Ryukishio 7, Higurashi. It was also a very common plot in that too. I've even seen it outside of like. I mean, obviously we've named quite a few different games of this style too.
Of course, the most famous is Undertale. I mean,
yes, of course. That's no.
It
actually has 3 routes.
I mean, it does because Sans is a spoiler.
It's not. No, shut up.
I mean,
we're literally doing a series on the sexy brutality right now.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be a better example.
I mean, that's more of a that's a more
Also, I didn't actually
less malleable time loop, but still.
Yeah, I do think this is a common thing. I'm not 100% sure on that, but this, I mean, I've seen this enough to think that it's actually pretty common in visual novels, specifically.
The old games created by the director of the Silent Hills before moving on to different series. Forbidden Siren was also very similar to this.
Oh, you know what?
It's like you would have. You would have missions that that was a survival horror game, but you would have missions that you would do, but depending on what you do in the mission, you would see different sides of the story with different characters, blah blah blah. This is hardly anything that I have not seen before. It's true. And I guess it might be more common in like I suppose I just watched Steins Gate as an anime recently, and that was based off a visual novel, which was very similar as well. So okay. I guess maybe it is more common than I was expecting.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it might be common in video games now that I'm saying this. I mean, we just got done with Death's Gambit, which does this a little bit with the whole, alternate
that's true.
thing. But
I also have played One Shot on the channel, which did a very similar. Boy, at some point in time, I'm gonna have to do a compilation of time loop games I played on the channel.
Yeah, no, and now that I'm thinking about, I mean, obviously Hades is one of the more recent ones, but that's
not a time loop.
Well, it's a game loop that's internalized. Yeah, okay, game loop, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's not quite. We're talking about closed time loops and this small or large actions changing the outcomes of it.
Yeah,
but it's just as it turns out, in recent memory, we've done quite a few. Well, I've at least done quite a few things related to exactly that.
Well, you could argue that Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is an example of this because you have to.
No, that's a Rashomon.
Oh yeah, no, that's actually true. Shit.
Come on.
I should not have challenged you on Sonic lore.
Damn straight.
You just instantly, you're like, nope.
The gall.
I actually probably a better example would be Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem, which is, of course,
not a time loop though. That's just different time periods.
No, I mean, yes, but the true ending is that you go through all 3 timelines.
Let me take a look.
Okay, yeah. The true ending, I suppose.
That's and I would say if you're going to use that true ending, and you have to have gone through every other ending first, which I do think is an example of that. If there's some sort of explanation that it's that it's diegetic and it's not just oh well you got to go through all the lame endings before you get to the true ending. No,
yeah, before it unlocks, which is actually the the Sonic Adventure thing. You always got to go through every storyline before you get to at least during the PS2 game, like the GameCube PS2 games. That's just like you have to go through all of the other stories before you unlock final story.
Yeah, and I guess my point is like
not the same thing.
If it's done in such a way that you need to have the timelines are somehow crucial to that. That does like there are games, and it's hard to say like without spoiling because this happens a lot. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
I feel like the specific stuff the specific comparisons that I'm making here are ones that have time travel as an important part of the plot in the first place.
Yeah.
And this game, it's just like, clearly we are fighting big robots with giant robots, but the time travel and everything that comes about because of that is so much more important to like what's actually what. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got like 10 hours of footage of this game or something right now, and I'm still not entirely sure. I still can't piece it all together. I guess that's how they made it 30 hours long, by having 13 different routes.
Wow. Well, that actually is like it's interesting because like one of the things I would say about the Zero Escape games, and I think anyone who's played like is it Ushikoshi, I believe, one of his games would say is he is not like a good character writer. He's very like all the women that he writes seem to be just like these incredibly ditzy. Like it's very silly. Yeah. He's a very silly writer. But and all the science stuff that he uses to rationalize all this is total bullshit. Like he's making it up as he's going along in a really in a really ham-fisted way. But first of all, he's really good at that. And then B, he's really good at turning that into like a deep like time travel.
I hear though that one of the problems with that series though is that once you get the shtick, then
you're just
then it's just like it becomes a little bit more it's less surprising when he pulls out the exact same twist in the next game.
Exactly. I mean, and also it's pretty grindy once you figure out what you're supposed to do. Then it's like, well, you almost.
I'm getting that feeling. I mean, comparing this again to 13 Sentinels, I'm starting to get that feeling here, where it's like, you do the extremely fragmented storyline means that like. Characters will discover things that you're we have so far seen a lot of characters who discover the existence of time travel and the existence of giant robots, and it's like we have to watch them come to terms with that I guess 13 times right now.
Oh yeah and actually the second Zero Escape game is just like there's like an animation that's just like searing into my mind. Like between cutscenes there's this really long it's just an obvious like loading screen, but they put it into the PC version where you're going through the tunnels and you're going through the hallways
where it would be less
stuff.
Important.
And it's like an unskippable like 20-second cutscene.
No way.
All right. Well, I'm sure I was doing something wrong, but like it happens like a million times in the game, approximately.
Yeah, here in 13 Sentinels, not so much. Thankfully, the loading times are a little bit better. But I gotta say that the thing you were talking about, like the grindiness of it, the story in this game so far is so incredibly fragmented, and it's extremely frustrating. Mm-hmm. So to wit, right now the basic premise of the game is that in 2060, I believe, mankind's last stand against the giant robots fails, and an apocalyptic event happens. Apparently not enough to actually like kill everybody, because we've seen some some time, some cutscenes from time periods after that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still very bad. So what they did was they sent future technology back in time, of which time travel is apparently possible, but only in 40-year increments, to kind of like set up this whole Sentinel thing in the first place, to protect some sort of underground mainframe.
And so, am I gathering this right, that they send them back to, based on what you're saying?
But the thing is, it's just like, look at what you're looking at on screen right now.
Yes. They send them back to 1985, and then because now they have time travel in the picture, one of them goes back to 1944 and tries to change the outcome of the game.
Oh, not even that. It's just like every... It's pretty clear. We've seen that with like Juro so far, that like characters are torn out of their time periods and seemingly just kind of spread all about the entire 40-year increment timeline.
I see. Okay.
As it is convenient, but due to amnesia and whatnot, that it's like not every character knows about that.
You know, I think that is really cool though. Like, to be honest, like that is just such a, like, if you're gonna tell a historical drama, then introducing a mechanic to do that is such a cool way to do that. Like within the sci-fi genre,
it just makes it so that everything. I don't know. For me right now, it's like everything in the story is just like, well, whatever you know can just be turned on its head in the next plot line, you know?
Yeah. Ironically, there is kind of like a Goku power level effect, you know, a Dragon Ball Z power level effect to the, like, oh, well, if we can overturn everything, then why can't we just overturn all the events of this game? You know,
I mean, I think that's the eventual goal, because as far as I can tell, you know, figuring out who is who and what is what is basically going to lead into us coming up with some sort of more permanent solution to the 2060 apocalypse.
Yes.
That's pretty much my only guess as to what's going on. That, or everybody's going to have turned out to be dead the entire time when we're all in some sort of afterlife.
Oh, and so just to be clear, now that I'm seeing, the videotapes are actual videos of things that actually happen. Is that right? Is that like a punchline of where we're going?
My best guess is that because these characters, at least like a decent chunk of these characters are from the future, that they're basically just confusing future events with things they've seen on television.
What did you say to me?
Oh.
So they think that it's happening, but so like these are things that actually did happen, but they think it's just a movie they saw.
Oh, okay. And so
remember that it's like everybody has dreams of future events. That's been like a big thing in the game thus far.
And dreams, of course, as we know, are influenced by what you watch in movies and stuff. So that tracks.
I mean, it's one of these things where, like I said, I'm like 10 hours into the game or something, and I'm just like, yeah, I can tell you a number of different things that are happening, but I'm gonna be honest here. What the hell are the Deimos? The Deimos are the giant kaiju that we're allegedly fighting against. But who are they? Why do they want to destroy humanity? Why are there just waves and waves and waves of them that come out of seemingly nowhere?
And you think that's going to be like the future technology? The far future is when they created the kaijus or something like that? Or
something like
that. The kaijus are coming from an alternate dimension where, you know, Japan got this future technology to develop it kind of thing. It might be something along the lines of they're like the Langoliers or something like that, and they're trying to prevent time from being changed. Oh yeah.
They are, rogue weapons from the future gone wrong, or maybe intentionally, maybe rogue.
Did you ever?
You know, like mad scientist creates robots, sends them into the past to destroy humanity because, I don't know, his daughter Maria died.
Yeah, I like that, like, in the modern world, like, with all the, like, the metaverses and everything, not the metaverse. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I was gonna call you out.
Yeah, no, you're right. Sorry, I meant like the Marvel stuff, like, and things like with multiple timelines and stuff. Did you ever think like that? I'm my own grandpa, and Heinlein's All You Zombies become like the narrative basis for all media. Like
that is certainly what this one is feeling like right now, because there at least, you know, stuff that we're going to be seeing later on that we have not seen just yet, it seems to just be the norm for every character. That we are going to have an All You Zombies, obviously not the exact thing, but a style of twist in that way.
Yeah. And
obviously this is all just, everything I'm describing is just all entirely separate from the try to stop Skynet from being completed sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean it's obviously, you know, with the sci-fi movie comparisons, I think that they don't really expect you to see it in any other way.
Like it's just I'm just thinking about how weird it is that like the average
we don't know anything about our alleged enemies.
The average person in 2021 is so literate about time travel plots, like just so incredibly literate about this. Like we're like Victorian, like reading a novel or something. Like how they understood like relationships and class structure.
Oh yeah,
except it's just
what's like the standard mystery novel called? By the way, I think I was peeing right now.
Well, that's really pleasant.
Could they really be
mystery novel?
an organization that monitors
Oh, there we go.
alien
Yeah, those rules are actually in one of the Zero Escape
Rules of
games.
detective fiction, but
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like I know who you're talking about. Like those rules, they are actually mentioned in one of the Zero Escape games. Like really on the nose.
yeah, like I said, they were also mentioned in in one of the When They Cry things.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about though.
I can't
I think
remember,
it's
whatever.
9 rules of mysteries. I would guess, which surprisingly wasn't in 999. If that's what it is, it was in the other one.
Yeah. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to get at here is that basically, yeah, the only way that they're going to make a time travel story that works like this is by just withholding all of the information from you at all points in time.
Are you thinking of the 10 Commandments of Detective Fiction by Ronald Knox? Like the criminal must be someone named.
It might have been Ronald Knox.
The criminal must be someone mentioned in the early part of the story, but must not be anyone whose thoughts the reader has been allowed to follow. All super.
Is that right, David Cage?
Finally done.
Well,
That's not even in reference to Omicron. That's in reference to a different game you made.
Oh.
Anyway.
Wow.
Oh, it's pretty egregious.
All supernatural or preternatural agencies are ruled out as a matter of course. Now, more than one secret room or passage is allowable. Is this what you're talking about, by the way? Or
Isn't that right? Sexy brutality? No, we're not doing that series right now.
Okay.
But
is that what you were thinking about?
It's just, yeah. I think that people, it's true that everybody knows what to look for in a time travel storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know the things that are supposed to be extremely apparent to you, that are going to be meaningful later on, and everything like that. And this game just has like, yeah, it's so fragmented is the word that I keep using, and I think that it's still a Vanillaware game, by the way.
Yeah, I can tell you just kind of like we're like halting, like, oh, you know what? Something's happening.
This is what you're here for, kids.
Something's in there.
But anyway, yeah, it's just so incredibly fragmented with how everything, with how each one of the character storylines works. It's just, I don't. How do you want to do this one? Because okay, I'm sure that this is probably again a standard thing in like visual novels or whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't know. We've already gone over the I don't know anime here. But you got 13 characters in the story. You can probably guess which ones are the important ones. For example, 2 on screen right now.
Yeah.
But basically, you know, they do gate off sections of the storyline until you do other things, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Do you want to just do like one character an episode after we get through Tutorial Town?
Yeah, I could do that. That'd probably be a good way to do it, to get like the lore as efficiently as possible, if it's possible.
The problem is that due to the way that it's intended that you're supposed to do some events before others, I think that might
go through the whole game in order to do that.
It's at the same time though, it's all so all over the place already that I don't really think it matters.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really up to you, but I could see that might make more sense than chronological order. I don't know. It would definitely be like
What is chronological order in
oh
this game?
yeah, no, I mean chronological order of you playing this. Thank you for. They're both chronological. One is just more organized, but what is more organized by
It's
character?
just like, what the hell would chronological even mean in this game? It's like when you see people try and like tell you what the Metal Gear story is in chronological order.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and
like-
then this is this person who won't appear for 3 games' grandfather. And you're like,
It's okay.
what?
It's like, first of all, Kojima obviously made it up as he went along, and it doesn't matter.
You
But still.
Oh my god.
are friends.
Yeah, I mean, you almost would
It's just the
prefer to
idea
go.
that you're going to have a series where the 3rd game is a prequel, and you're going to act like, no, this is the 1st game.
Okay. Stay calm.
Well, Star Wars.
Anyway, I think what I'll have you do is I'll have you choose the character for the next episode after we get out of Tutorial Town.
It all makes
Let's
sense.
do. Who's the most useless character that won't do anything? Maybe we just go in. Increase
Oh my
in
god.
order of
It's like, the
importance.
funny thing is that the most useless character is probably the one with the weirdest fucking story.
Oh, and you know what? That's a classic. Like, I mean, we've all done detective stuff, right? Like, that's often how you do that with a multi-tiered story like that. You have an ending.
Because you know who, like, the obvious first character would be? Juro Karabe.
Yeah.
That dude. He's kind of been presented as more or less, like, main character dude, right?
Uh-huh.
And he does have, like, the least much of anything storyline. But then it's just like, you know what Pompadour guy? Ogata is his name? That is like one single time loop done over and over.
Yeah.
As far as the storyline goes. And it takes actually quite a while to unlock it even.
Oh, also to use another Danganronpa example, one of the
Did they do that in that game?
no, I was just thinking about how they use the most minor character as like, and it turns out she has this huge backstory where she was like intimately related with the main villain, all that stuff. So,
Oh yeah, I've heard about that
yeah,
before.
Where'd you learn how to speak my language?
But yeah, I'll just have you.
Gate?
I don't think we're out of Tutorial Town after this episode. I think it's like literally 3 hours.
I've seen the movie.
Yes.
You need to call your whole planet, right?
And then we will eschew all gameplay sections for the rest of the series.
Don't worry.
Whatever, man.
I think that makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me tell you about the gameplay of 13 Sentinels. I have, on every single mission I've done, gotten an S rank on my first try without even, like, flexing my brain at all.
Well, it's probably not meant to be like a big gameplay thing. I don't know. Is it?
Boy, howdy. And I'm not playing it on easy mode. I'm playing it on normal. I mean, maybe I should pump it up to hard mode, but at the same time, it's like, do I care that much?
I feel like these are the stories. The gameplay in these games is usually just to get you through the, like Phoenix Wright gameplay is another. Like, you select evidence and you present them as objectives. It's not. It doesn't lack in any charm, but it's like, it's not like fun. It's not like a deep game.
There's like an entire level up and like customization RPG type of system.
Yeah.
Alongside the whole like RTS sections, but boy howdy, at least in the I guess what you would call it, in the first area of, I think, 3 plus tutorial, it was just like, yo, it was nothing. It's just like, gameplay wise, just nothing.
So what is this robot's deal? Because I have trouble following the dialogue and doing this, zero breaks.
Well, I will summarize it for you. This girl does not wear pants.
Get you to where you need
Oh.
to go. Just hang tight, okay?
Oh yeah, no, that would make sense.
Okay. She's obsessed with sci-fi stuff and UFO sightings and stuff like that.
Okay.
And now she's basically recreating ET after finding
like you
this
were God.
this robot that just kind of appeared out of nowhere.
And this
Especially
is,
because it's like there are literal like Men in Black kind of roaming around the school right now.
yeah.
The robot wants to go to this shrine. Why is that? Well, I mean, it should be fairly obvious, actually.
Was ET a big deal in
Now that
Japan?
I think about it.
Yeah, apparently. She said that it's just like, hey, it was a 1982 classic, so it would have been like 3 years from now.
Yeah, but aren't these people like video nerds anyway? Like they're movie nerds.
These people are also video nerds. That's
Yeah.
true.
Oh, that was a great movie.
I mean, she's like a super video nerd, so, and she doesn't wear pants.
This is a question for non-US viewers. When do you think of E.T. as being a foreign film? I don't know. I would say this for any like American movie.
It's a
like,
very American film.
I
suppose.
I mean, do you think of like I guess I'm thinking like, do you think of American films like what we think of as like the monoculture? Like do you think of Marvel films as being like foreign films, or does it just like okay, no, that's just.
Does that even have like that same sort of connotation in other parts of the world to talk about something like it's a foreign film?
Yeah. Like, because it's like, for me, it feels like a foreign film means non-U.S.
Because, America has, like, big monopoly on a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Not to say that nothing is made outside of it, but boy, howdy, do we make a fucking ton of them.
Yeah. And in American culture, foreign films kind of means, like, artsy, highbrow stuff.
Artsy, highbrow, the sort of thing that your dad doesn't want to go watch because he doesn't want to have to read while he's watching the movie.
He doesn't want to read subtitles, yeah.
So it's just like, I don't even. I remember that I asked at some point in time, like, hey, do people actually know about like Die Hard outside of America?
Yeah,
and the answer was apparently yes.
Okay.
Even the titles got their the like language specific puns in different regions.
That is really impressive.
What the heck happened to this city?
So I think that's one of those things too, where we're talking about like the mono. What did you say?
I called it like the monoculture. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but like just like
what the monoculture now, these days is the internet.
Yeah.
So I want to say it's like it might just be I'm on the internet. I know about this stuff.
Oh yeah. That's probably a good point.
But anyway, what we're talking about here? Yes. So this robot wanted to go to this gate because it's looking for a memory cell, it was called. And I guess this gate, for whatever reason, is the nexus of where they can actually use time travel technology when they're outside of the robots. So that specific old shrine just happens to be the place where you do time travel.
Okay.
It might be, of course, because they only have a limited number of backgrounds, but you know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Wait. Once again, I don't want to compare this to Persona 5 because it really does not deserve that. But
yeah, it actually seems like it's hard to tell so far, but it does seem like they put a lot of thought to this. I don't know.
I'm just frustrated with how hard it is. It's just, I feel like by the end of this game that I will understand everything that's going on, and I'll be like, that did not take 30 hours. It did not need to take 30 hours to explain that. This is not that complicated of a storyline.
Well, at the same time, I mean, like.
Although, then again, it's just like with all of the likelihood approaching 100% of everybody being dead and in purgatory style of twist ending.
Now, in fairness, I was kind of thinking about this, like, because Persona 5, we have expressed our thoughts on that a lot, but I don't. My problem with the padding wasn't that it was actually like padding out the story. Is that they weren't padding out a story. It's just that they were padding out everything. They were just making it take more time to, to stretch out something that wasn't that deep.
Hey, whenever anybody asks me, it's like, what are your biggest? Hey, why don't you like Persona 5? It's like that's the number one thing I always bring up.
It's filler. Yeah, I mean, and like I don't. If there's
to quote Mystery Science Theater, this is what happens when you make a movie that's 90% packing peanuts.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but I mean, if they do a good job with something, if they have a good like game, like the story is good, like I don't care if it takes way too long. Like Zero Escape took way too long, but it didn't feel like filler. It just felt like it was this sprawling plot, and I'm like, okay, you know what? That was really ambitious.
I guess the
really
problem right now that I have. The problem that I have with this right now is that it feels like
I know what they are.
There is such a twist obsession coming out here.
Oh yeah, no, I feel like they're building towards something where everything is something that was sent into the past.
Nothing is what it's, and that's why it's like despite it could literally be anything. It just happens to be giant robots this time.
Was Earth really attacked by
It happens to be giant robots for the sake of
They want
gameplay.
to destroy humanity?
Yeah.
It could be like a meteor or something.
Yeah.
It could be a virus. It could be, God, like, what other? Would you choose your own apocalypse?
Now,
Alien invaders, whatever. Which they might be alien invaders. I'm still not entirely sure. Jury's out on that because it's weirdly.
But what is that?
People are weirdly not curious about their actual enemies.
You're looking
Or
for
maybe
what?
they are, but it's just not on screen.
okay. Yeah, and why are there more than 13 Sentinels?
Oh, because there's 13 characters,
Okay.
and those 13 characters each have a Sentinel.
Okay, that is bothering me. Just I want to state for the record that is bothering me.
We're missing. Oh, they're missing a few pilots, I guess, because you got to remember that's the other thing that because this is anime, every robot has to be piloted by a high school student, a very special high school student.
Yeah, exactly.
Only the most special boys get to pilot the mechs.
Mhm.
Once again, she never wears pants. This is an important part of her character. She's constantly saying, it's like, oh man, I should probably put on some pants, and then never
How am I
does.
doing, Mira-kun? Anything I'm screwing up here?
Doing just fine, Natsuno-san.
So anyway, that is more or less what we're going to be looking at. I don't know, any character you're looking at right now that you feel like, hey, I'm kind of interested in what their whole deal is.
Really be deployed
It's hard to say. I haven't really figured it out. It seems like
We're designed for long-range attacks.
because I don't know if that does sound like a sensible strategy, but it feels like you're gonna have to go through the whole game to do that. And
I don't
know
care. You know how much editing I do of these series.
Yeah.
news?
But I'm already like 50% through a number of the character storylines.
You are? Oh well. Okay. I don't care. Just pick somebody arbitrarily.
No, I want you to pick, so then I can blame you. No, so then you know, it's truly random because I obviously know what happens in the storylines.
Oh, okay. Well, how about we go in?
I said storylines.
How about we go in ascending order of what their, or maybe descending order? I don't know. What their pilot number is.
Stay calm, Natsuno.
I
Like,
want it to be you just pick one character. You want it to be, and it's probably going to be recency bias, of course, but I don't
look,
care.
you're giving me too much credit. Recency bias implies that I have short-term memory. How about the character?
No, as soon as the episode ends, you're just going to be like, the character that I just saw.
Exactly. I was just gonna say the character that I'm just seeing on the right there.
She's one hell of a character if I remember how this episode that I record ends.
Okay. That works for me.
By one hell of a character, I mean she's completely detestable. But,
Ooh. Nice.
well,
That'll be interesting.
no, because you might choose somebody else. I don't know.
No, I think that's actually fine. That seems like a great starting point. Somebody.
No. I want you to choose because you might not even remember who that is because of your lack of short-term memory.
The one with number 17.
There are 13 characters. You could just name any. It doesn't even have to be a name. It just has to be like
Natsuno.
describe somebody.
The girl on the right.
Okay. Now, come on.
Kaitaro Miura.
What is her
wait.
number one characteristic? You should at least remember that.
She likes movies or the ET or UFOs.
Okay, fine.
Oh, that was right. Okay.
I don't know. I really thought it.
I wasn't sure.
Pretty sure most people remember her from the game for one thing, but I'm kind of surprised at your pure innocence.
And she doesn't wear the one who doesn't wear pants.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what I thought you were going to say, but it's just like you actually bucked my expectations of being far more wholesome than that. So I suppose I shouldn't complain.
It wasn't wholesomeness. I thought you were tricking me with that because you had just described the UFO thing in the last scene.
For a first-time pilot.
I wanted to make sure that I at least answered your question.
Couldn't have done it without you, Mira.
Come on, it can be anybody. It can be JoJo. It can be JoJo guy. Jotaro. Jotaro Joestar. Oh my god, how did I fucking forget the name of that character?
Jotaro, especially one with such a catchy theme song. Jotaro.
It can be Miura. He's got like a scar on his forehead. He's from the 1940s. It could be that one guy who really, really wants to win the World War II for Japan, which I kind of question.
I am curious about that, actually. That is an interesting. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of a.
Technically, Miura does too. I think he's less extreme about it.
A little bit of a history nerd, so I like anything that goes back in time.
Sentinels number 13 and 15.
I mean, not that it's just like that matters. These Sentinels were built for one reason. That's defending the terminals.
Okay.
There's Juro, boring protagonist man.
What?
There's also the other girl there, Fuyasaka, and Takamaki.
It is Yuna-chan. We're here to help.
It looks like your name is Yuri Fuyusuka, but I'm gonna just defer to you. You seem to know the language better than I do. So
Yes, I know the names.
Okay.
I know the names of the characters. Of the characters.
Yeah.
It took a while.
Let's do this together.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, no, that is an interesting thing that happens when you play these. It's like, oh yeah, you know what? It's like a novel or something. It's like, oh yeah, you know, I don't remember who Wickham is, but I did when I read Pride and Prejudice. Like, oh yeah, then there's.
Gotta keep it together.
I think,
Wickham,
God, of course, I have a much better memory for that sort of stuff, so I'm going to remember who all these characters are for far into the future.
Have you read Pride and Prejudice?
I've not read Pride and Prejudice.
Pretty good one. I liked it.
Gotta do something.
Read one of the other Austen novels. Trying to think of. That's the one I'm familiar with, but I can't remember now.
Yeah, I can't remember anything right now.
Well, anyway, so yeah, we got like boring protagonist man. There's also who I'm playing as right now, and Takamaki. We just saw Jotaro Joestar earlier. Pantsless girl. Who else is here?
The Miru.
There's girl with braids and red glasses. I'm trying to even think. It's like, does she have like a personality type of thing?
Well, I mean, it's possible you haven't. Have you actually been in like detailed scenes with her?
Oh yeah, and they're pretty fucking wild, but
Okay.
but oh my god, I'm telling you that it's just like, here's the thing, you're gonna know these characters for more than what I'm saying right now eventually.
Well, you know that is one of the things that happens with these. Is just like you eventually you get a really but
no, but not like personality wise.
oh. oh, because it's a vanillaware game. Yes. Okay.
No, not that. Well,
Oh.
kind of that.
No, not that. Well,
A little bit that. Okay, there's white-haired boy from the far future.
Moving out.
What's his thing? He has like he's the one with the future gun. I actually don't even remember if that's happened just yet.
So I'm wondering if I should.
There's
be playing-
there's girl who does the delinquent squat.
Oh, there's the delinquent guy.
Yeah, I said that's Jotaro.
Oh, that's Jotaro.
Joestar.
Okay. Yeah, I'm worried that I'm.
Okay, so we got delinquent girl, delinquent guy, who both do the delinquent squat when you select them on the select screen, which I always find very funny.
So I do think I wonder if the gameplay in this has the main function of teaching you which characters are which.
There's forgetful girl who I don't think we've been introduced to yet.
Like it's probably easy to remember these characters if you're playing them for like 10 minutes, just because you have to. Like you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just naming out a few here in case any one of them catches your eyes.
Did I get it?
You don't want to do Pantsless Girl first, is what I'm gathering.
I don't.
Okay.
Really, like, I don't know. Her thing is just like, I'm gonna hang around with my robot buddy a lot, and I'm just like, honk shoe. Give me something more interesting than that. Though maybe that's like the one that you want to start out.
Let's do Takamaki.
There's long-haired yandere girl. You wanna go for that?
Well, okay, so now it's what I'm going. How about yes, because I don't know what those mean, and I refuse to learn.
Oh, she's the one who's obsessed with Juro.
I refuse to learn in an amount of time that would allow me to change my decision. So I'm not basing
Well, I've
this-
got bad news for you. We have 15 minutes left in the
Well,
episode.
I'm not doing this based on what I'm personally into because I don't know what yandere means. So I'm off the
That's
hook.
the one.
But
There she is.
I don't know what that means. So I'm innocent. I'm just making this decision almost as though
Are you trying to deflect from the fact that you know exactly what yandere means?
I actually don't in this case. I just always forget. I remember what tsundere means, but I always forget the others.
Oh, there's the Twin Tails girl with red glasses.
Have you ever seen the image where somebody has like the quadrants of the types of girl and it's superimposed over the political compass?
My shoes are soaked.
What is yandere? Is that like fascist or something?
I assume tsundere is authoritarian left. I don't know what the others are though. I don't actually remember this.
Yeah. You just get like whatever, like the Ice Queen personality, hardcore communist.
It's nothing. Thinking about how no one talks to you again.
Anyway,
You down.
so
It's just 'cause you're so quiet, Megami.
I'm gonna make you choose a character, and I'm gonna keep throwing out facts about who the characters are until you choose one.
I'll go with the yandere because again I don't remember what that means.
They just need to
Legitimately, I don't remember it. See, I'm stymieing your plans.
Well, what about like Ann Takamaki? Don't you want to see what Ann Takamaki's up to? What about boring protagonist man?
Sure, and Takamaki is fine. I don't care.
Okay.
If you think if it's not,
But what about like the
I think I'll pass.
1940s Mura? He's got a scar on his forehead, and I don't remember too much about his whole thing.
No point in going back now.
it's hard to pay attention.
He looks like a schoolboy from the 1940s. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
It's an interesting look.
Singing,
yeah.
Megami.
Wears the cap and everything.
Have a rabbit video?
But yeah, no, I mean, I like that this is just like, you know, this is, first of all, it's exposing how little I know about this culture that I'm doing this series on, which is very
And the funny thing
frustrating.
is, I don't know fucking anything about anime.
Uh-huh.
You looking for frogs or what?
It's like that is
Keep going.
that is just true.
Uh-huh.
But I'm still like familiar with some of the tropes, I guess.
What is it? Did you see that?
See
was a
what?
light. I saw it in the water.
Maybe it's a UFO.
And were there any characters that I missed?
It's bothering-
Almost definitely. There's 13 of them.
It looks so chilly out there. Why is she not wearing pants?
But these characters comparatively are wearing pants.
I guess, yeah.
They're just wearing the really long socks.
I guess
and
it's
short
like
skirts because it's a
stockings,
Vanillaware
yeah.
game.
Yeah. It does not look like that would be warm on this like rainy. I guess I don't know what date it is. It could be like summer.
It's rain and cats and robots.
That thing just fall from the sky?
Yeah. The robots can also time travel. You gotta either be in a robot or you gotta be at that shrine area. That's how time travel works in this universe, seemingly.
Soaked. And my umbrella got blown away. What a drag.
What a drag.
That's a.
God, what? I'm trying to remember. Are there any other characters?
We could have totally died just now.
Fuck,
The
there's
one,
so many
the one
characters.
character you're probably forgetting is the one that turns out to be like the main villain the whole time.
Probably.
I mean, I think that's how they actually do that. They make it so, well, it's the most forgettable character, but actually, or the most seemingly guileless.
I already said though, there's just like some of the less notable characters are the ones with the wilder storylines.
Yeah. And I mean, I think what they do is they make it like one of the illusions that this genre does so well is like it gets you into this mindset. These are just random people who happen to meet on a train or they happen to meet in a classroom, and then
Oh
as you find
yeah.
out-
There's a Rich Kid. I forgot about Rich Kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Rich Kid might.
Rich Kid who
Police.
wait, did we actually see that or not at this point in time?
I don't.
Whatever.
think so.
He's rich and he
Maybe in the very first scene, like because somebody.
he's cool. He's the cool guy that everybody's a big fan of. No, that's your bro. That's Shiba. He's not a playable character actually.
Oh, okay,
Surprisingly enough.
that's interesting. I guess because they have to have some one character that's reliably not one of the one
I
of
mean,
the aliens
there
or
are a few of
whatever.
those. Ryuji character, the school nurse.
Uh-huh.
There's like suited man who we'll be seeing later.
So these aren't playable characters. These are just random.
When?
And
They're not.
there are
they're-
characters that do exist outside of.
I don't mean like randoms. I mean that's actually a bad way to put it because like they don't have they might not have their own Sentinels.
2024.
Gasp! 2 years from now.
2024. I can't imagine.
Must have been forcefully shifted here.
Wow, I can't imagine things getting that bad in the next 2 years.
With the giant robots?
I just can't imagine that's got to be a worst.
The things are going to get so bad, the giant robots are going to appear in the middle of Japan.
I think we should do this series in 4 years, and it'd be like, actually, that's kind of optimistic.
I'm just from the
Like,
school.
How giant robots falling
if
out
it
of-
was just a
This
giant,
seems like a bad thing.
if it was just
The robot didn't even crush anything; it just fell in a lake.
yeah, that's fine. Like, I mean, in real life, it killed everyone but us. We're the only people left.
They're coming.
Yeah, but that's all because... No, I was going to reference something that's going to happen later. Damn it.
Okay. I was gonna say we're the only 2 people left.
Damn
on
it, there was
Earth.
actually... There's a relevant reference to this game to be made here, but I can't make it because we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Well, anyway, half a year later, in 1985. Meanwhile, in the past...
A cat.
Which, okay, here's the thing. Due to the way that it's just like you have to time travel at 40-year intervals, it actually does work that way, but still.
Okay. Oh,
is,
that is okay. So that is like a big limitation. Is that you time travel in 40-year intervals? So in other words,
You don't have much more control. So it's just like, time passes. It technically
in other words,
passes
this is
in the past.
This is 6 subjective months later for her.
I was just thinking.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like, even if they did time travel back to the future, it would still be 6 months later from when we started.
Uh-huh.
Time to reminisce.
It is really weird that the characters are so open. All of them are so aware of the time travel and stuff. Like that is.
Yeah, but I mean, even figuring out who's from what time period is just this. It's just another layer of how they fragment the storyline and keep information from it.
Exactly. Yeah.
One that can still fight. I have to go.
I have to say it is clever. Here's the thing: I don't know if it's individually clever because it's a genre, but it's such a clever set of genre conventions to even be able to have story structures that are this non-linear and complex. But yeah, no, it's a little bit like it feels very silly in the moment. It's like, okay,
It's true.
Well, it's just frustrating because it feels like they're making the
Can't do nothing.
storyline more complicated than it needs to be.
yeah, oh yeah, and it's like you should write any of these stories down. They're gonna make sense, but it's gonna feel really.
Oh, I know they're all
really
going to make sense. I've been paying attention. It's just like I get the basics of it. It's just,
I hope
whoa, Nelly, is it going to? We're going to have to go through quite a. Well, actually, depending on if we're doing a character per episode, which again is not how the game is designed to be made. We're probably just going to run into facts where it's like after doing 5 characters, we'll kind of get the storyline.
Uh-huh.
right.
But then it's like we're going to have 8 more characters to go.
I'm gonna know more and more
Yeah.
about you.
So,
But then again, I think that's true for the regular game as well. It just happens slower.
I feel like I want to go on Reddit and look up the order of characters that would be best to play, but it's like I don't want to like get spoiled on it. So it's like I don't.
Oh my god, I don't.
I need you to
They give you, even at the very start, they give you like 10 characters to play
Okay.
after you get out of the tutorial.
Oh, I see. So it is like you are locked into a character line once you do that. Okay.
forget about.
Well, you're locked into a character storyline up to a certain point, and then it says go finish something. Either do the gameplay
okay.
sections,
Yeah, I see.
do the gameplay sections, unlock the secret files, or play a different character up to a certain point, or what.
I see. So it's non-linear, and I see. Okay, whatever.
But I'm going to be honest, I have played the characters up to certain points and everything, and I got to tell you, it does not really, like, there aren't any more or less revelations that you get because of that.
Huh. So it's sort of just taken for granted that we're doing all this time traveling constantly, and it just breaks up the story in a really arbitrary way.
Yeah, it feels like it's really arbitrary. Like there's a lot of twists that I've already learned that are that we're not gated, or we're gated in a different way. I don't know.
I see. So we don't. This isn't like necessary. It might be building to like some brilliant ending, but so
maybe by the time I see the end of some of these characters' storylines, you know, when I finally have that prepped up for not the next episode but the next one, that maybe it will. Maybe I'll change my decision on that, or maybe we'll just continue to. We'll just do full character storylines and make this, you know, 16 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know. I could kind of go either way.
Either way, nobody's going to watch the series anyway. It's a long-ass visual novel.
Oh, I got disconnected. I'm sorry. Didn't hear.
Oh, okay, don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's just like
Wow, that was it was really convenient. Like this isn't a bit we're doing. Like I actually disconnected for about 20 seconds, and I don't know what you said. So,
it's totally fine. We don't have to restart anything.
Oh, okay, great. Then
anyway, this cat is talking now.
Is that Morgana?
It's not Morgana. Actually, the character kind of talks like Alan Rickman.
Oh, okay.
And so, since you can't hear the voice acting here, just kind of like imagine that, but not as suave.
How are you gonna tell me this cat kind of sounds like Alan Rickman, and then tell me so if you're listening to how this cat sounds, it's kind of like Alan Rickman, like just as an aside. Like, oh yeah,
but like a little bit nerdier.
This cat sounds like Gilbert Gottfried, so you know, separately from that. So maybe if you're trying to imagine how this cat is talking,
it's just like you might want to try thinking before you speak.
You might want to imagine Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, no.
It's me, Fluffy the cat. This is what I sound like.
That's pretty good.
I know everything about you. Me, the cat. So yeah, I told you that it's just like some of the most innocuous characters have the dumbest storylines.
And I mean, obviously, like this cat is going to be like that E.T. character.
Obviously, like I mean, it's not literally a talking cat. This is not that sort of game.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Uh-huh.
I'm fairly certain it's not that sort of game.
You think that this is like madness, like or something like that?
Like a what?
Like, is it madness, or is it aliens, or is it just like a person?
I would say
another character.
It's the aliens or some sort of. I remember that just like later in the storyline, they explicitly reference Arthur Clarke's Third Law.
Oh, okay. That's the one where it's like sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though that was just the character here trying to justify what she's seeing.
I love
not an explanation for anything.
I love that because it just like merges like it's the kind of thing where it's like, well, technically all nonfiction is fiction and all fiction is not fiction. And all fantasy
Diegetically it's nonfiction.
Fantasy is just sci-fi. And
dang, Mos. Why that sounds like them robots we'd be fighting.
Yeah.
Also, it's like the moon of Mars, right? Because it sounds like demons. That's why Doom took place there.
I don't know. I know Phobos and Deimos are the two moons of Mars, and that it's something from Greek mythology.
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of planetary celestial objects are.
Yeah, pretty unsurprising fact there.
Yeah, but it's like because it sounds like demons, and I guess that's why they call these things here too.
You're only damning yourself if you refuse.
Well, yeah, sure.
Now, can you say?
I want to say that this is supposed to be like especially like the references to magical girls and everything, and signing contracts to grant wishes. It might be a sort of like, unless it's more common than I think. I don't know. Maybe it is. First thing I think of though is Madoka Magica. I don't know though.
I don't know.
And now that I'm saying it, it's just like I have no idea. That might actually just be the most common thing for magical girl anime too.
There's nothing impossible about it.
It's an anime from 2010,
All right.
Okay.
I'll give you some time to think about it.
starring
Suppose it's a
magical
good thing
girls who
that
fight. Okay,
instead of some idiot who
look, I can do the
waits
entire
30
thing if you
years.
want. But
What? I'm just.
Make no mistake.
This is such a confusing
a lot of
game.
people were talking about it at the time. I've never actually seen it.
No,
myself.
I'm trying to keep up.
And
with
nor
this.
will people make me watch it because I refuse to watch animes from 2010s. Y'all gotta be more creative. If you're gonna make me watch an anime, you better have watched an anime in the last 10 years, for God's sake. Because that is something I've called my chat out on a lot.
And there is a way
It's like,
to
okay, so you suggested another anime from 2011.
Can I make a
It's
deal
just,
with the devil
yeah, I haven't watched anime for 10 years. It's like, why are you making me watch anime? What's a character? Tell me. Actually, I suppose we got one more episode. We don't have to make a decision
Okay.
now.